Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Good evening, everyone, and good morning, everyone. Thank you for sending me birthday wishes, and I'm really thankful to everyone. I take it as an inspiration to continue the Dhamma activities, and I also know that in Mahayana Buddhism, today, December 8th from Asian time is the day that the Shakyamuni Buddha attained enlightenment. So I think if that is the case, then I would like to dedicate all my Dhamma activities, as a respect to the Buddha and his enlightenment. So, birthday at the same time respecting the enlightenment of the Shakyamuni Buddha on December 8th. That's under Mahayana Buddhism. Okay, so today, the title of the talk tonight is somewhat interesting, and it's differently interesting because we've been talking about topics that lead to the Four Noble Truths and dependent origination and all that kind of a deeper topics, and then we've been talking some secular topics too. But today we're going to be talking a topic about lying positions. So there are four kinds of people, and as you know that today is day 90, and we are now approaching day 90 in our Sutta discussion. So it's kind of a developmental thing. And the sutta we're going to be using today for the discussion is Sīha Sutta, and the topic is the topic for today's talk is going to be how a ghost, peta, a pleasure seeker, kāmabhogi, a lion, sīha, and a Buddha, tathagata, go to sleep. So everybody is interested about what kind of a lying position that these individuals to sleep. So lying could be different to these individuals. At the same time, how and what kind of a lying position that these individuals use is interesting to discuss. So let me read the Paṭisota same time. Okay. Chatasso ima bhikkhave sīha. Sīha is lying position. So either it could be for sleeping, or maybe it could be just for lying down. Mendicants, there are these four ways of lying down. What for? Peta sīha, kāmabhogi sīha, sīha sīha, tathagata sīha. Peta sīha means the lying position of a peta, a ghost. Kāmabhogi sīha. Kāmabhogi means pleasure seeker. I think you all are pleasure seekers, at different levels, and lying position of a pleasure seeker. I don't think that everybody will include in this pleasure seeker position, but most of them. Sīha sīha, lying position of a lion. Normally how lions lie down and how they sleep, that position, sleeping position. Tathagata sīha means the lying down position of a tathagata, a Buddha. Okay, now the Buddha defines what they are one by one. Katamacha bhikkhave peta sīha. Ye bhuyena bhikkhave peta uttana senti. Ayang uchchati bhikkhave peta sīha. Now, before I jump into the particular sleeping position of a ghost, I want to introduce to you who is a peta, who is a ghost. Now, in the Buddhist tradition, especially in the Theravada tradition, we understand petati kālakata vucchanti. So, any being who passed away is called a peta. So, there are 4 types of petas that we know. Generally speaking, they are fourfold, but we also know there is one more category of petas like ghost, given by the Milinda Panya, book called Milinda Panya. Now, peta, generally means someone who passed away, but not a dead body. Petas continue to live in their own realms. We know that they have enormous appetites, signified by their gigantic bellies, because if you take a look at of the Peta Vattu, one of the books in the minor text, Kuddaka Nikaya, you can see some petas, ghosts, they had gigantic bellies and slender necks, and they were mentioned with the stories of Arhat Moggallana, because when Arhat Moggallana could notice many petas, ghosts near the Vulture Park, Gijjakuta in India. So anyways, so that's kind of a general overview of the characteristics of a ghost. So they have enormous appetites, they are signified by their gigantic bellies, and they have slender necks. So as I told you, there are 4 main types of petas. The first one being Nijjhama Tanhika. Nijjhama Tanhika is the first category of the ghost petas, and if you look at their characteristic of their bodies, is that they are always feeling hot, and they feel like they are on fire. So that's what they feel, right? So Nijjhama Tanhika petas, ghosts, they feel that they are, they are on fire, feeling so much hot. And the second type of petas, ghosts, is kuppipasa. Kuppipasa, the word itself means, kuppipasa means actually hunger and thirst. So we call them ever hungry ghosts. So they are so much hungry about the food. But the problem is that they can't eat. When they want to go eat something, the thing that is eatable becomes something else. If they want to drink a cup of water, let's say when they approach rivers and ocean, the water becomes blood, so they can't drink because they have done akusalas, bad karmas in the past lives. So we know that hungry ghosts, hungry and thirsty ghosts, they are called kuppipasa. The third category, pansupisacha. The pansupisacha also a kind of a Nijjhama Tanhika type of petas, and Paradatupajivi category is the sort of ghost who expecting gift from their relatives, who they lived with before they died. Let's say there is a ghost who was born in the Paradatupajivi ghost realm. So there are realms actually. Nijjhama Tanhika is a realm. We call the petas in that realm, they are Nijjhama Tanhikas. Kuppipasa is also a realm, peta realm. So those petas who are born there, we call them kuppipasas. Pansupisacha is also a ghost world realm, so we call them Pansupisacha. And Paradatupajivi is a little different from the previous 3. These petas are a bit different in a way that they have a certain eligibility to receive some gift that could be transferred by their relatives in a past life. Let's say, let's call them, petas who are on transit. When you are traveling, by plane. Let's say if you have a transit, you won't be there for long, right? So the kind of ghost who who might be going into a different, I would say, a better realm, like maybe a human. So they need little more good karma from their relatives who they lived with. So let's say their relatives are to go to a temple, maybe they are to transfer merits, then they can receive, and so they can get rid of that Paratatupajevi realm. So these are the 4 kinds of main petas. But there's one other peta type called Vantasika. So Vantasika is those kind of petas who feed on vomit. So that is another kind of a peta group called Vantasika. So all these are petas. Now the thing is, in this particular sutta, the Buddha says that the lying position, maybe the sleeping position of petas, is this kind of a sleeping position. What is it? Ye bhuyyena bhikkhave peta uttana senti. How do they lie down? Petas usually lie flat on their backs. This is called the way a peta lies down. Now, if you sleep on your back, if you lie down on your back, if you sleep on your back, then you are following the sleeping position or lying down position of a ghost. So we will be looking at the medical advices as well a little bit, which we can research, at this moment. But Buddha says that petas sleep on their backs. Petas lie down on their backs. So the reason is that, what is the reason why they lie down their way? Te appa mansa lohi tatta atti sanghata jatita ekena passena saitum na sakkunti. Oh, the problem is that petas don't have lot of flesh, lot of blood, lot of bones, so they cannot sleep on the side. They cannot sleep or lie on one side, lie on the left, lie on the right. They have to lie on their back. So it's like somebody who passed away, that sleeping position. So they can't sleep on a side, either right or left, because their bodies don't have enough flesh, blood, and bones. Okay, so that's why the ghost position, sleeping position, is that they sleep on their back, or they lie down on their back. And then the second lying down position or sleeping position, katamacha bhikkhave kāmabhogi sīha. Katamacha bhikkhave kāmabhogi sīha. Ye bhuyye. Now the word called ye bhuyyena means usually. So that means there are some other petas who might not sleep, who might not lie the same way. There may be some petas who might be exceptional. By exception, they might sleep differently, but majority of the petas, they sleep on their back. They lie on their back. When it comes to kāmabhogi, pleasure seekers who are into sensuality, like most of you, ye bhuyyena bhikkhave kāmabhogi vāmena passena senti ayang uchchati bhikkhave kāmabhogi sīha. Now, you all are seeking pleasures, from being a minimalist into that kind of a materialist, passionate kind of being. So Buddha says that ye bhuyyena generally speaking. So most of the pleasure seekers, they sleep on the left side. They lie on the left side. Is it true? Yes, I know. The reason being is that there are scientific teachings, scientific evidences that sleeping on the left is, important for many reasons. So we will be looking at them after. And the third, this is interesting. This is about a lion. Katamacha bhikkhave sīha sīha, sīho bhikkhave migaraja dakhinena passena sīyang kappe. Okay. Pāde pādang acchādhāya antara sattinang nangutthaṃ anupakkipitva. So patibujjitva purimang kāyaṃ abbhunnāmitva paccimang kāyaṃ anuviloketi. Now, these are the things what a lion does when he is into sleep or lying down. Sache bhikkhave sīho migaraja kinchi passati kāyassa vikkhitang va visatang va tena bhikkhave sīho migaraja anattamano hoti. Sachepana bhikkhave sīho migaraja na kinchi passati kāyassa vikkhitang va visatang va tena bhikkhave sīho migaraja attamano hoti ayang uchchati bhikkhave sīha sīha. Now Migaraja, so Migaraja basically means the king of the king of beasts, okay? King of all animals. Lion is called the king of all animals. Now we know that in the history, in a lot of narratives, we know lion is said to be the king of beasts. But anyway, so what is the position of a lion? Let me take a look. What is the position, sleeping or lying position of a lion? Sīho bhikkhave migaraja dakkinena passena seyyam kappeti. The lion, king of beasts, lies down on the right side. So lion never lies down on the left side, on the back. Lion lies down on the right side. Okay. Pāde pādang acchādhāya, placing one foot on top of the other. Now, folks, you know that reclined Buddha statue, so you can see that Buddha's feet, one feet over the other feet. So same thing, the lion lies down on the right side, placing one foot on top of the other. Pāde pādang acchādhāya. And then antara sattinam nangutthaṃ anupakkipitva, with his tail tucked between his thighs. So the tail is not spread out. The tail, what he does is he wants to tuck it between his thighs. So it's perfect, right? Nobody can, drag him out, and then the tail is safe and all that, right? So with his tail tucked between his thighs. And the most important thing about the lion's sleeping or lying position is that, so patibujjitva, when he wakes, purimang kāyaṃ abbhunnāmitva. So what he immediately does is that when he wakes, he lifts his front quarters. Now we know that because this is kind of a thing of feline animals, like when a cat wakes, and then that the cat stretches out and sort of like releasing air and all that. So the lion does the same thing, but lion goes further. What does lion do is that lion purimang kāyaṃ abbhunnāmitva, he lifts his front quarters and he does something really interesting. And paccimang kāyaṃ anuviloketi, checks his hind quarters. Like those of them who drive, they have to see the blind spots, right? The blind spot. So the lion, once he wakes up, he lifts his front quarters and then checks his hind quarters, looks at the front side. Now why he does that? Let me tell you why he does it. Now we said that pāde pādang acchādhāya, that means placing one foot on top of the other. Antara sattinam nangutthaṃ anupakkipitva, which means with his tail tucked between his thighs. So patibujjitva purimang kāyaṃ, so when he wakes up, purimang kāyaṃ abbhunnāmitva, which means he lifts his front quarters, and paccimang kāyaṃ anuviloketi, so he wants to look at the rear side of his body. Sache bhikkhave sīho migaraja kinchi passati kāyassa vikkhitang va visatang va. Now he is checking something actually. What is he checking? He is checking whether his any part of the body is disordered or displaced. Maybe manes, maybe skin hairs, maybe body hairs, whatever, head hairs. He wants to make sure that whether any part of his body is disordered or displaced. What a good animal, right? Tena bhikkhave sīho migaraja anattamano hoti. In case any of his part of the body, seems to be disordered or displaced, he is really upset. He is displeased. Such a noble animal. Anattamano hoti, which means displeased. We know the opposite of this word called attamano. Attamano. In most of the sutras we know attamano, which means the monks were happy after listening to talk. So anattamano means displeased, unhappy. Sache pana bhikkhave sīho migaraja na kinchi passati kāyassa vikkitanva visatanva tena bhikkhave sīho migaraja attamano hoti. The opposite is that when the lion wakes and when he lifts his front quarters and checks his hind quarters, if he doesn't see any part of his body is disordered or displaced, he is very happy. Lion is very happy. This is called ayang vucchati bhikkhave sīha. This is called the sleeping or lying position of a lion. Now, I think it's something interesting here. When we wake up, do we check what's going on, or do we just start our other things? I think most of us mostly go to mirror room or powder rooms and sort of like check everything. And lion is a noble animal, so he doesn't want just to continue his waking and other things. He wants to make sure that his body is not is not disordered or displaced. So he wants to make sure everything is okay in terms of his body. Okay, so that is the sīha, which means the sleeping position or lying position of a lion. The last position, khatamacha bhikkhave tathāgata sīha. Tathāgata means the demos word that we use for the Buddha. Tatha means the noble truth, so someone who has come to the noble truths is a Tathagata. I mean, the Buddha, Tathagatas attained the enlightenment without any support of any other being. So that's why we don't call Pacceka Buddhas Tathagatas. We don't call Arahant Tathagata. Tathagata is, Tathagata is only attributed to a fully enlightened Buddha. So let's take a look at what the sleeping position, lying position of a Tathagata. Idha bhikkhave tathagato vivicceva kāmehi vivicceva kusalehi patamajjānam dutiyajjānam tatiyajjānam chatuttajjānam upasampajja viharati ayang uccati bhikkhave tathagata sīha. And how does a Tathagata lie down? It's when a Tathagata Buddha, quite secluded from sensual pleasures, kama, secluded from unskillful activities, which means akusalas, enters and remains in the first jhana, second jhana, third jhana, fourth jhana. This is called where a Tathagata lies down. Now, Dhamma folks, you might perhaps puzzle about the Tathagatas, the Buddha's sleeping position, because most of the people understand that the Buddha slept like a lion because of the statues that they see when they go to different countries. But nobody rarely understands that he has a jhanic way of sleeping. So this is what we understand by the fourth sleeping position. Let me now go into details about different sleeping positions, and then we will be looking at these four sleeping positions and what could be the best or the optimal you know, beneficial sleeping position for when it comes to the spirituality, when it comes to health. First, let me tell you. Now, we know that as we age, sleep is very important. Not even as we age. Now, we know when we were small, young, we don't care about sleep. We have so much energy. We want to play, we want to stay up, and then, but when you age, you feel that you won't sleep. You want a sort of a good management about your sleep. That's why it is said that we at least should aim at 7 hours or 8 hours, no matter which age. So when you want to sleep, then the immediate thing that comes up in the mind is that we should have a quality of our sleep. So when we talk about the quality of our sleep, then we need to know sleeping position. Sometimes you feel like so much sore and then painful when you wake up. So that's why this sutta is very interesting, important to see it from a spiritual point. Now, in the modern world, what we understand is that the sleeping position or lying position plays a big role. It plays a bigger role because if you do not properly understand it, you won't have a good sleep. So when we look at different sleeping positions in modern day times, we know that there's a sleeping position called fetal position, like a fetus. Like when we were born, when we were conceived in mom's womb, we were conceived as a fetus, right? So some people they sleep like a fetus. So it's kind of a most common sleeping position. Like we know in the West, in the modern science, they don't say that one of the sleeping position is the best, but what they say is that these are advantages of this kind of a position, lying position or sleeping position. These are the advantages and disadvantages or pros and cons of this kind of a sleeping position. So they do not say that this is the best way to sleep. So that we need to understand what are the benefits, what are the pros and cons of different sleeping positions. So some people they use the fetal position. I think this position, if we rank different sleeping positions, we could say it's the worst, because it even though it can help ward off some of the conditions like Alzheimer and Parkinson, kind of Alzheimer or Parkinson's kind of like diseases, but it can restricts your deep breath when you sleep like a fetus with the fetal position. And that's one position, sleeping position, lying position. And the other one that we know is the sleep on our left side, sleep on the left side. Now this is one of the very popular sleeping position on one side, which is medically recommended for different reasons. We know that when we sleep on our back, like the petas, ghost, one thing that we may miss is that we don't let our brain clean some of the waste. Now we know that when we sleep on the side, it might not help brain to clean some of the waste with the neurological things. So one of the things that is important when somebody is to sleep on a side, now in this case on the left side, is that it helps the brain to clean waste, which could be associated with the neurological diseases, which means it might not happen when we sleep on the back, even though there are different benefits of sleeping on the back. That's one thing. And we also know that there are other benefits of sleeping on the left side. Let me tell you some of them. We know that medical sciences say that when you sleep on the left side, it bolsters the lymphatic system, right? We have lymphatic, lymph nodes. So when you sleep on the left side, it says that uh, that kind of a sleeping, that kind of a lying helps filter lymph fluids via the lymph nodes, and it helps lymph nodes to do their own cleaning waste. So that means it's good for the lymphatic system, which means if you sleep on the right side, it won't help you. Now we'll still be talking about medical sciences advices. So sleeping on the right side, which we see in the Buddha, in the sutta, and also in the sutta called Sangita Sutta in the Digha Nikaya, I think 33, is sleeping on the right side. But sleeping on the left side helps, bolster the lymphatic system. Number two is that it helps, improves the digestion. So, because we know that the stomach and pancreas, they hang naturally. So if you sleep on the left side, that's naturally their side. So it helps those two organs to properly work. So it won't happen when you sleep on the right side. And this is kind of a debatable. People say it's good to sleep on the left side because of, it helps the heart to flow. It's still debatable, but some people say that it helps because it might help to take some pressure off the heart, as the gravity can facilitate both lymph drainage toward what you call the aorta. The aorta is the main artery of the body. So aorta is like always like working with the heart, because the aortic circulation, and the heart, that connection better works when you sleep on the left side. But still, there are debatable ideas about sleeping on the left side for better function of your heart. But don't take it for granted. But it says it might work for your heart, and it also works to reduce heartburn, especially to reduce acid reflux when you sleep on the left side. So there are benefits like that. And they also say that if you are struggling with heartburn after a meal, try taking a 10-minute lie down on your left. So left has some benefits. I mean, some notable benefits. And also it helps relieve pressure on the spine, in the back. So for those who have back pains, they say it's good to sleep on the left side. But keep in mind, for those beings who have heart diseases, sleep apnea, glaucoma, and other syndromes, they might not benefit from sleeping on sides, either on the left side or right side. So you need to seek a medical professional. But normally we see that there are these benefits if you are to sleep on the left side. And let me go into the next kind of position, sleeping on your right side. So even though the Buddha slept on the right side as a lion, I'm sorry, not as a lion, I mean to say the lion's position, even though he followed the lion's position when he lies down, slept. But the medical professionals say that when you sleep on the right side, it increases heartburn and acid reflux, right? And there are some disadvantages that way. And especially we know that even if you sleep on both right side or left side, the research suggests that when you sleep on one of the sides, it contributes to wrinkles. So you will getting older faster. You get wrinkles all the places because you are sort of like pushing your body onto one side. So they are kind of pros, right? And some people, switch to this kind of a position called free fall, lying on stomach, which is not good. But the medical professionals say the sleep apnea, or what you call snoring, can happen when you sleep on your back for a long time. So for those who have sleep apnea, they say lying on your stomach could be better. But seek medical professionals. But I'm trying to contrast these ones. Now we have come to the most important part. Okay, sleep on your back and sleep on our right side. So they are the most important parts of this discussion. So now many of us, we sleep on our back like the Patas ghost, and it is no wonder, because when you sleep on your back, it helps it helps your spine, and it won't give you skin issues, wrinkles, and it won't give you a lot of pain. But it's not good for the people who are struggling with the sleep apnea. So now I thought that the Peter's position, what you call sleeping on back, on our back, might not be a good one. But when we take a look at many people who normally follow this position, it is a helpful position, but you should understand the pros and cons. And then sleeping on the right side, especially like a lion. Now this is very interesting. What do we see in a lion's position is that when you sleep on the right side, the left hand rests on the left thigh. And if you notice sleeping lying lion, what we can see is that the left hand rests on the left thigh, and the right hand is placed under the chin. Why is it? Close in the right nostrils. This is the right nostril, and when that happens, it sort of like blocks the right nostril, because in the yoga philosophy and some Buddhist references, we know that the left nostril is more important than the right nostril. So sort of like you're gonna close, when you sleep on the right side as a lion, you close the right nostril a little bit, and the legs are stretched out and slightly bent. So what we understand here is something very interesting. Now, why did the Buddha also sleep and follow a lion's position, lion sleeping positions? That it is said in many places that this position is a noble position, especially a spiritual position. When you sleep on the right side, now let me take a reference from the Samgita Sutta, Digha Nikaya number 33. Pitting me agilayati, tamahang ayamissamiti, atako bhagava chatuggunang sanghating panyapetva, dakkinena passena sīha seyyang kappesi, pade padang achadaya sato sampajano utthana sanyam manasi karitva. Now this is an ideal explanation about how Buddha followed lion's position. Buddha had a back pain, right? Sometimes when he is supposed to talk, but he had told other monks, especially Arhan Sariputta, can you continue the Dhamma talk or something? My back is sore, I will stretch it. And then the Buddha spread out his outer robe, folded in four, and laid down in the lion's posture on the right side, placing one foot on top of the other, mindful, aware, and focused on the time of getting up. Who is sleeping by thinking how I'm gonna wake up? Now this is very interesting. Now when someone sleeps on the right side like a lion, it is always possible that this position is kind of difficult for some, because you need to get used to it. At the same time, you are very mindful that you have to wake up because you are sleeping on the right side and as a lion. So Buddha is mindful and focused on the time of getting up, and then he slept like a lion. And also in the yoga philosophy, what we understand is that why the lion's position is highly commendable, highly praised. They say something very interesting. They say this lion sleeping on the right side as a lion is very important for those who are gonna die, because they say if you have a natural death one day, if you follow this position, then what will happen? We have orifices, right? We have different openings of the body. They say you have to keep your consciousness in the upper part of the body. Don't keep your consciousness in the lower part of the body, because if you sleep on the right side as like a lion, then you will most probably, your dead consciousness is most probably will exit from the upper part of the body. That means you will be able to be born in a better realm, because this consciousness has to exit from our body. So that exiting has to happen from the upper part of the body. That's why it is said, even in the yoga philosophy, when you sleep on the right side as a lion, by closing your right nostril, that will help you to push or help exit your consciousness in a better way, and you will have a chance of being reborn in a better realm, happy states, happy rebirth. So that's very interesting. But for those who die and then who can't exit their dead consciousness from the upper part of the body, it is said that they will be then reborn in a lower realm, because their consciousness is to exit from the lower part of the body, which is not good. That's why there are two main important things of why we need to sleep on the right side as a lion was given. One benefit is that it helps you to be wakeful and mindful. That is for this life. And the second is that if you know that you're going to have a natural death, if you are bedridden, if you have a disease, chronic disease, then if you know that you're going to die, then you're going to use the right position, what you call, you sleep on the right side of you as a lion. But it helps you to, exit. It helps your dead consciousness to exit properly, and then to be reborn in a better place. Okay, and okay, so they are the main important things that I want to touch down today, especially about the lion's position, sleeping on the right side, because Buddha says goats sleep on their back. Most of humans, they sleep on their back. Either it could be medically okay, but friendly, but Buddha says these petas, goats, they sleep on their back. And a lot of pleasure seekers, people who seek sensuality, they sleep on the left side, which is one of the most preferable position of many comfortable people. And the sleeping position of a lion is on the right side, and he has a noble way of waking up. And then also it is the position which was followed by the Buddha. Now we have come to the last position, which we call by Tathagata Sīha. Now folks, you need to understand, even the Buddha followed the lion's position when he normally wanted to sleep, but when he wants to be mindful, when he wants to spend his normal general time, he didn't want to sleep like a lion, because you remember that he has a sort of a charana dhamma. We call them charanas, practices, 15 practices, vijja charanas. One of the charanas is jagariyana yoga, which means he doesn't sleep long. We have a kind of a loose translation saying that he slept for 2 hours. So which means even he is supposed to sleep, I think he most probably used the Tathagata Sīha, which means that he trans into the 4 jhanas when he thought that sleeping is not essential. Let's say in addition to the 2 hours of sleep, that kind of a loose translation thing, he thought if he wants to rest, he rested by transiting into the 4 jhanas. First jhana, second jhana, third jhana, fourth jhana. Now, I want to tell you what is jhana. Now, people in the West and people in the East have mixed understanding about jhanas. Now, what is jhana? Let me tell you. Now, jhana, the simple generic interpretation of jhana is to withdraw your mind from the automatic responses and to sense impressions. So we are mostly caught up with automatic response. Let's say I see you on Facebook Live. I don't see you though. I see myself. And I see people who are watching here, and then I get to react automatically. So cutting off or deconstructing this automatic response is one of the powers of transiting into jhana. Not even that, just cutting off, just deconstructing the automatic response will do nothing. And then what happens? Jhanic practice leads you to a state of perfect equanimity and awareness. We call it upekka sati parisuddhi. Upekka sati parisuddhi is the goal of jhana, especially the 4 jhanas. Okay? Now, even though the jhana is not originally a practice of the Buddha, it was a practice started by the pre-sectarian schools like the Shamanism and Hindu people, like those sages and saints in Himalayas, and these people, ascetics, they've been practicing jhanas for long time. But why then the Buddha followed 4 jhanas when he thought it is not essential for him to sleep like a lion and when he wants to rest? I have a reason for that. The reason is that when someone is into the 4 jhanas, first, second, third, 4 jhanas, that helps that person to stay focused on the detachment, which we call kamihi, vivicchehi kamihi. At the same time, the practice of the kusalas. And Buddha doesn't need sensuality. Buddha doesn't have sensuality issues. Buddha doesn't have akusala issues. But he still wants to keep his mind on the non-sensuality, detachment, and on the skillful activities. So that's why Buddha transits into the jhanas when he regards that the 4 jhanas, the sort of like the physical sleep is not essential. Now let me tell you. Now, especially in the jhanic practice, we know there are 5 jhanic factors, right? Vitakka, vichara, piti, sukha, ekaggata. So they are very famous jhanic factors. Let me tell you what is vitakka. Vitakka means, what's vitakka? Vitakka is applied thought. Let's say I want to practice loving kindness meditation, then my object is my vitakka. Loving kindness. Let's say I want to practice loving kindness towards my parents, myself, my people who I love, everybody, right? All in me. So my object is a vitakka. And vitakka itself doesn't work because it has to go. It has a glide. So we call it gliding. Sustained application, we call it vichara. When I have the the object of my thought, which is called vitakka, then what happens? That vitakka has to glide, which has to spread out in a sort of an area. Let's say I see you, then I understand you are Dhamma listener, and then I think about Dhamma listeners, how bit I can give that to you and all that. So I kind of spread my vitakka, object of the thought, glide. And then what happens? Vitakka vichara. Piti. Then I come to a sort of a joy. But this joy is not sensual. Now, joy to many is a sensual joy. But this joy is, not associated with the sensuality. And followed by the joy is sukha. Vitakka vichara piti sukha. Happiness. Bliss. call it bliss, not happiness. So that bliss or happiness is also non-sensual. And then vitakka, vichara, piti, sukha. Whenever you are happy, blissful, then the immediate thing that you have to practice is ekagata. Because a lot of people, when they are happy, their mind wavers, their mind travels, their mind traverses. And Buddha said, we need concentration. We have to concentrate our mind so that we can retain our happiness, which is non-sensual. Okay? But we know that the jhanic practice was not, it's kind of like frowned upon by the Vipassana movement, which came into existence at a later time. But anyways, we should not forget that jhanic practice is what the Buddha did, especially the 4 jhanas. But he didn't transit into the other 4 jhanas. Now these are the rupa vachara jhanas, the first, second, third, fourth. He didn't transit into the akasananchayatana, which means the infinite space, viññānañcāyatana, infinite consciousness, akinchanyayatana, infinite nothingness, and nevasaññānasaññāyatana, neither perception nor non-perception. He didn't want to transit into them. That's not the purpose. Because in the Buddhist teachings, the ideal jhana is attaining arahanthood and then being able to transit into the nirodha samapatti, which you call sanya vedanta nirodha, which means extension of all sanya perceptions and feelings. We are struggling because we have a lot of sanyas, right? We have a lot of subjective sanyas. We have a lot of feelings that associate our sanyas. So anyways, Buddha transits into the 4 jhanas whenever he wants to rest, when he deems that he doesn't want to sleep. Okay? So Dhamma folks, let me recap this. I want to tell you that Sīha Sutta, in which we talked about 4 sleeping positions or lying positions, is a good place to understand our sleeping, especially our sleeping positions, our sleeping habits. So what I can tell you is that I don't ask you to switch up to a certain sleeping position. What I'm saying is that when it comes to spirituality, sleeping on the right side as a lion can be beneficial, especially there is a connection between this life and the next lives. Okay? And for mindfulness. And I know a lot of people complain that when they sleep on their back, they become more sensual, right? Especially man and woman, right? And at the same time, sleeping on the left side has its own benefits, especially some medical benefits. Now, especially for pregnant women, because for women we know that the uterus and uterus and the liver, they are on the same side of the women. So it helps for the both organs for women. But so especially when people sleep on their left side, that's medically friendly. We know those benefits won't pop up, won't come when you sleep on the right side. But when you sleep on the right side, it helps you to spiritually awaken yourself, and then to minimize any unnecessary things that could bring you down when it comes to a next life. At the same time, your spiritual practice now. Okay. So let's share all the good karmas now. I hope that you will understand different sleeping positions and then think to yourself, oh, this is the sleeping position of a peta, ghost sleeping on your back. And when you sleep on the left side, that is the sleeping position or lying position of a pleasure seeker. When you sleep on the right side, which means that is the sleeping position of a lion. When you sleep by transiting into 4 jhanas itself, another lying or sleeping position, which is not physically happening, because you can't physically sleep when you want to transit into jhanas. So which means that you resting by transiting into 4 jhanas. So it's pretty interesting. Okay, so let's share all the good karmas with the departed individuals, and our departed relatives. May all the departed relatives share in all these good karmas. May they be happy and peaceful. May they attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Idammi ñāti nang hotu sukhita huntu ñātayo. Idammi ñāti nang hotu sukhita huntu ñātayo. Idammi ñāti nang hotu sukhita huntu ñātayo. We have a custom in sharing good karmas with the deities, and also with the nagas. So may all the good karmas be shared by all the deities and the nagas. May they protect all of us, especially we are spreading Dhamma and you are listening to Dhamma. And we need time, we need space, we need opportunities. So may all the deities and nagas share in all these good karmas and bless all of us. And we also know nagas and devas are also lost in the samsara. May these good karmas also help nagas and devas and nagas to attain the supreme enlightenment, nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Ittavata cha ammihi sambatang punya sampadang sabbe deva anumodantu sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti sindhya akasattha ca bhummattha deva naga mahiddika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkhang tuluka sasanang chirang rakkhang tudesanang chirang rakkhang tumang paranti. Finally, let's make a great wish. It's a day of many wishes for me, birthday. May all the good karmas we've been doing so far be helpful for all of us to attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. I'm going to be blessing you with a couple more stanzas. Please receive the blessings. Abhivadana siddhisse niccang vaddha pachayino chattaru dhamma vaddhanti ayuvanno sukhang balang ayurarogya sampatti sagga sampatti mevacha ato nibbana sampatti iminate samijjatu. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you. And then please continue to be safe and have a good evening for those who are joining from Canada, from the US, and for those who are joining from Asia. Have a good day. Take care.